Ketan, chief guest sir has joined.
A very good morning, sir. We welcome you to our event. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Ketan Kumar. I am the president of AV Student Council. We feel very delighted and it's our pleasure to have you in our meeting, sir. Thank you so much.
I think sir's audio is having some issue, no?
I can hear now. Can you hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A very good morning, sir. Thank you.
Good morning.
Sir, so we'll commence now that you've joined. We'll just start. Huh? Thank you. Are we ready to go, Lakshmi?
Yes, sir.
Very good morning, one and all. On behalf of AV Student Council, it gives me Professor Vinita Sharma, teacher in charge of AV College National Youth Parliament 2022. Great pleasure to welcome our principal, Dr. Rajalingam, PG Director, Dr. Bhagwant Reddy, Vice Principal, Dr. Kumar, IQAC Coordinator, Ms. Vidyulata, Head Department of Political Science, Mr. Srinivas, Head Department of Public Administration, Ms. Vanilla, my dear colleagues and students to this event. An honor indeed to welcome and introduce Shri Kunda Vishweshwar Reddy Garu, former First National Youth Parliament. Sir really needs no introduction as protocol demands. In brief, Sir joined the TRS party in 2013. He won as Member of Parliament from Shevella Lok Sabha constituency in 2014. We all saw his active involvement in the Telangana state movement, completing village names and signboards with Telangana state even before the bifurcation in 300 plus villages. He secured resolutions from 300 sarpanches and youth groups for a separate Telangana and submitted the same to Sri Krishna Committee. As a Member of Parliament, he made an impact on policies related to biogas, fish ladders, solar energy, was on parliamentary committees like Standing Committee on Industry, Committee on Privileges, Consultative Committee on Power and Renewable Energy, Joint Committee on Financial Resolution and Deposit Insurance Bill 2017, was convener WASH Legislative Forum of Parliamentarians 2015, convener Parliamentarians Group of Children supported by UNICEF. He convened an international conference with members of parliamentarians from more than 15 countries, including EU and UK. Sir spoke 90 times in the parliament with 95% attendance. Only sitting MP in India to get patents. In his constituency, he created direct rural employment, started Swachh truck initiatives to clean school toilets. Even currently, 4 trucks clean around 90 schools every day. He constructed 20 youth clubs, started biogas plants to give piped biogas connections to houses in Vedamangalam. He geotagged the borewells in Shevella constituency and compiled the data of open borewells and encouraged youths to close them, and many, many more. Sir, the students call you an Adarsh political leader. You were the unanimous choice of the Student Council for this event. Thank you for accepting our humble invitation to guide and mentor them through this event. We'll start the program with a small invocation to the Lord Almighty.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shatru buddhi vinashaya deepajyotir namostute. Deepajyotir namostute. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah.
I now request Dr. C.H. Rajalingam, Principal AV College, to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Respected chief guest of today's program, Konda Vishweshwar Reddy garu, IKC coordinator Vinita Sharma garu, staff and dear students. ABH 1944 with an objective intelligent degree college established on 6th September 1968. Dear students, as you all are well aware, the vision of our college is empowerment through pursuit of excellence. Our mission to ignite young minds through knowledge and its application, to build competency, and to provide holistic education so that we become confident, self-reliant, and socially responsible citizens. This includes in NAAC terms sensitization of students and employees of the institution to the constitutional obligations, values, rights, duties, and responsibilities of the citizen. I personally appreciate the AV Student Council and its team for initiating such programs like the National Youth Parliament 2022. We are indeed very fortunate that to encourage you further, none other than the veteran ex-MP from Chevella, Sri Konda Vishweshwar Reddy garu, known for his futuristic and proactive approach, has come forward to guide and mentor you through this exercise. I wish you all a fruitful event and happy learning. Finally, I appreciate AV Student Council for helping the student by organizing this type of program to achieve overall development to serve the society. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mrs. M. Vidyulata, IQAC Coordinator and Academic Coordinator, Social Sciences, to please address the gathering.
Good morning, Vinita. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Good morning, one and all. Respected chief guest of today's program, Sri Konda Vishweshwar Reddy garu, ex-member of Parliament, Chevella constituency, Rangareddy district. Our principal, Dr. C.H. Rajalingam, Vice Principal, Dr. Padma, PG Director, Dr. Bhagwant Reddy garu. My colleagues who have initiated this very prestigious program, Dr. Vinita Sharma, Mrs. Renu Mathur, and all the students who are part of this wonderful program. On behalf of AV College Internal Quality Assurance Cell, I deem it a pleasure to address you all today. It's indeed a memorable day for all of us as we make our debut of AV College National Youth Parliament. I was actually delighted when I heard that the AV Student Council had got approval from the Ministry of Parliament Affairs to conduct the National Youth Parliament in our college. I was even more happy when I went to the list of business items that are being taken up in today's session. It was indeed heartening to know all the items. Holding mock sessions of parliament in schools and colleges in our country is quite an old practice. In fact, I remember attending 2 youth parliament sessions organized and broadcast by NDTV and Times Now. It was really very, it was an eye-opener and very informative. Firstly, these mock sessions are not held in the parliament according to the laid down rules and conventions of parliament, mainly because the concerned people may not be fully conversant with the rules and conventions. So relevant material on the subject is also not available to the schools and colleges. Consequently, its educational content and its potential as a great educational device gets diluted. So with the aim of improving the educational content of these events, the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, Government of India, has launched the National Youth Parliament Scheme. And we are fortunate enough to be organizing that in our college this year. Though composition of powers and functions of the Indian Parliament are included in the course of your study, it is only through holding these youth parliament sessions that you will gain knowledge of its procedure and insight into the working of parliament. And this is what is precisely learning through practice. In addition, it helps students consider public issues and form their opinions on them, develop the ability to arrive at a decision after group discussion, develop respect and tolerance above all for the views of other people. Since our country is a multicultural country, we have difference of opinions, practices, and it also helps in having an understanding and respect for rules that are essential for conducting any discussion systematically and efficiently, and develop the quality of leadership and the ability to express in an articulate manner. Once again, I congratulate the AV Student Council and its team for this initiative and hope it will enrich your learning experience. Thank you one and all the very best for your ensuing sessions. Thank you. Over to Vinita.
Thank you, Vidulata ma'am. Very enlightening, and students would have really understood the perspective and the logic of holding these events. And now we have A. Ketan Kumar, MSc Biotechnology second year student, President of AV Student Council. He will introduce the National Youth Parliament candidates to us. Over to you, Ketan.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, Ketan.
A very warm welcome to our very own Sri Konda Vishweshwar Reddy Garu, affectionately called Vishanna by his constituency people, chief guest of today's event, and Dr. K. Gautami, correspondent AV College, Dr. C.H. Rajalingam Garu, principal AV College, Dr. M. Bhagwant Reddy Garu, Director PG Center, Dr. P. Padma, Vice Principal, respected teachers, and all my fellow college mates. It gives me immense pleasure to share with you all the activities undertaken by AV Student Council. As you all are aware, the Student Council is formed at the beginning of each academic year. 2 students from each class, the class representative and a student elected member, represent their class in the Student Council. This year, the Student Council has introduced 2 initiatives. Its programs, Voice and Views. It's a platform where students from different disciplines discuss and debate on all the issues. The diverse perspectives shared here enrich the quality of the debate. The recent topics were COP26, your likes and dislikes, National New Educational Policy, your likes and dislikes, digitalization in different sectors, education sector, and challenges due to COVID-19, and COVID-19 your experiences. Our second initiative, participation in the National Youth Parliament Scheme. With the recent approval from the Ministry of Parliament Affairs, we are organizing this National Youth Parliament event. It gives me immense pleasure to read out the names of the students participating in the National Youth Parliament 2022. Speaker, Mihra Bharadwaj, BA EPP first year. Deputy Speaker, Sridhar Kanigari, MCA. Prime Minister, CH Lakshmi, BA PPP third year. Ministers in the Parliament, Ministry of Education, G. Jyotsna, BSc MScs first year. Ministry of Environment, C. Avish, BA EPP first year. Ministry of Home, Sai Ramesh, BCom Computer Applications first year. Ministry of Skill Development, P. Manjari, BCom Computer Applications second year. Ministry of Agriculture, N. Preeti, BSc MScs third year. Ministry of Defence, Mohammad Maroof Ali, BA EPP first year. Ministry of Railways, CH Priyanka, BSc MScs first year. Now coming to the members of Parliament and Treasury bench, A. Baby Sonali from BSc MSc first years. Janveer Singh from MCA. S. Upender from BA EPP first year. T. Yashwant from BA EPP first year. D. Sai Prasad from MBA. Tarun BCom from first year. S. Vaishnav BCom Computer Applications first year. Prakash Janga MBA. Shabana Begum BCom Computer Applications second year. B. Manish Kumar BBA second year. Sri Vidya BAEPP first year. M. Arvind Kumar MBA. Now coming to the members of Parliament in the opposition bench, Leader of Opposition Akshat Mohan BAEPP second year. Saurabh Kumar Shukla MCA. M. Ramcharan from MBA. A. Manish from BSc MPCS third year. K. Rambabu from MCA. Naidu Mahesh BAEPP first year. A. Likita Reddy from BSc MScs first year. Ambika Patil from BSc MECS first year. Syed Mutalib Pasha EPP BAEPP first year. A. Uday Kumar Reddy BCom Computer Applications first year. Sai Manikanta BAEPP first year. Sai Krishna BAEPP second year. Sante from BAEPP second year. Jeevan Balaji BAEPP first year. Ravikiran BAEPP first year. Varun Sai from BCom Computer Applications second year. Now coming to other members, Marshal S. Sai Teja from BAEPP first year. Secretary General Baireddy Lahari BAEPP first year. Table officers Arshad Khan BCom Generals first year and also B. Teja Kumar BAEPP first year. From Press and Media, Devi Sri BCom first year. K. Amulya first year. Foreign delegates G. Uday Kumar BSc BZC first year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ketan. We are happy to share that, students from all programs, art, science, commerce, all came forward and are participating in this program. I now request our chief guest, Shri Konda Vishweshwar Reddy Garu, to make his opening remarks and declare the Parliament open. Over to you, sir.
Sir, you're muted, sir.
Sorry. Good morning to everybody. I thank the principal, AV College, the vice principal, the director, PG Studies, and the organizers of this youth parliament led by Professor Vinita Sharma and all the other organizers, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the AV Student Council, and most importantly, the students who are participating in this. A very good morning to all of you. Before I declare this parliament open, a few words, and very few words, because I'd like to make my comments after watching this. The most important thing we need to remember is the quality of the democracy is not dependent on the strength of the ruling party. It is the strength and the voice of the opposition. So throughout the proceeding, remember, the floor of the parliament belongs to the opposition and not to the ruling party. Ruling party merely have to answer and justify their action. It is the issues that have to be raised primarily from the opposition. Having said that, after these few words, I declare this youth parliament conducted by AV College open, and may the parliament proceedings commence. Thank you.
Sai Teja.
Yes. माननीय सभासदों, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी,
Namaskar. Honorable members, I am very much delighted to welcome you all to the winter session of National Youth Parliament. Hope this session will be a fruitful and learning for all of us. As we sit here to deliberate issues concerning our nation, today's first business is oath taking. Secretary General, please.
Ms. Ambika Patil, who stands elected from Chevella Parliamentary Constituency, will now make oath or affirmation. Ms. Ambika Patil, please. Ma'am, will you take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language you like to take oath?
English, please. I, Ambika Patil, having been elected a member of Youth Parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, has by law established that I will bear uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter. Thank you.
Now, we will move on to our next business, that is obituary reference. Honorable members, I am to inform the House about the tragic demise of Brij Mohan Nath Mishra, famously called Pandit Biju Maharaj. He was a popularly known and a renowned artist for many centuries together. He was a genuine artist, complete artist. Such artists come once in many centuries. He could sing, dance, create, compose, choreograph, play various instruments, and speak about art. He wrote definitive books on Kathak Hastas and Tumris. Add to this his films or even the ramp walk of fashion. His oeuvre is vast. He was born on 4th February 1937 in Handia village of Allahabad district, Uttar Pradesh. He left us all on 17th January 2022. Biju Maharaj was a recipient of Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor, in 1986. This House expresses its deepest condolences on the passing of Pandit Biju Maharaj. The meeting extends condolences to the brave family. Honorable Prime Minister.
Speaker, sir, Pandit Birju Maharaj was person par excellence, a great son of the soil. On behalf of this House, I express my deepest condolences. Om Shanti.
Honorable Leader of Opposition.
Honorable Speaker, sir, Pandit Birju Maharaj was a man of great perseverance and was loved by all of us. His contribution to the field of art was immense. His demise is a huge loss. On behalf of the entire House, I express my deepest condolences. Om Shanti.
Members, in the honor of departed soul, we will now maintain 2 minutes silence. Om Shanti. Now, the House will take up next business, introduction of new ministers by Prime Minister. I call upon the Prime Minister to introduce his newly elected ministers of the Council of Ministers.
Sir, with your permission, I would like to introduce this esteemed gathering and through you to the members of the House, my new Council of Ministers. Mr. C. Avish Kumar, Minister of Environment. Ms. P. Manjari, Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Now we will move on to the first opening of the House. Question hour. Mr. A. Uday Kumar Reddy, question number 1.
Thank you, Speaker Sir, to giving me this opportunity. Will the Ministry of Home Affairs be pleased to state whether the government is aware of the recent surge in recruitment of local by left-wing militant organizations in some pockets of the country? And if so, the actions taken to nip such activities in the bud?
Thank you. Honorable Minister for Home Affairs.
Speaker Sir, through you, I would like to inform the members that the Union Ministry of Home Affairs indeed aware of unfolding situation in certain pockets of the country with regard to the menace of left-wing extremism. Accordingly, it has also taken various steps to control the situation, such nefarious activities in the world. This also includes ramping up measures already in places such as security-related expenditure, special central assistance, special infrastructure, and construction of 35 fortified police stations under the affected areas. Also, assistance ₹1 crore to the central agencies for management of affected areas. The government also initiated drone surveillances. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We'll move on to question number 2. Mr. Varun Sai.
Honorable Speaker, as we are going to introduce digital education policy, I would like to ask the Ministry of Education please to state whether the government is aware of the hurdles faced by the girl child with respect to completing school education in the country. If so, the initiatives taken by the ministry to help promote gender equality in the field of education. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Education.
Speaker Sir, through you, I would like to inform the members that the Union Ministry of Education is indeed aware about the numerous obstacles faced by the girl child in completing school education in the country. Accordingly, a string measures have been introduced by our ministry and other allied ministries. The ministry is in the process of reviewing performance of existing schemes like Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Balika Samriddhi Yojana, Central Board of Secondary Education, Scholarship Scheme or Policy for Girl Education, National Scheme of Incentives to Girls for Secondary Education. I'm also happy to share that feedback surveys have been initiated to find out reasons for girl child dropout, which will be completed within 6 months. The ministry has also put forward a proposal to increase budgetary allocation by 2% to cater for digital self-paced learning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now, Ms. Likitha Reddy, question number 3.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. Will the Ministry for Railways be pleased to state whether the ministry is aware that last sections of tracks on the railways network have still not been electrified? If so, the action plan of the ministry to help achieve full electrification of the Indian Railways network?
Honorable Minister for Railways.
Yes, the Ministry of Railways is indeed aware of the fact that a large percentage of tracks in our network is still not electrified. But the ministry has taken various steps as follows. Speaker sir, through you, I would like to inform that member, in order to achieve full electrification of railways tracks throughout the length of the breadth country, work has been progressing at a record pace. The national transport is marching towards 100% electrification by the year 2023. To illustrate, Indian Railways logged the highest ever road kilometer electrification despite unforeseen challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. A total of 6,015 route kilometers RKM electrification in the financial year 2020 to 2021 has been registered, surpassing the previous highest of 5,276 RKM in the financial year 2018 to 2019. Out of the total broad gauge network of 64,689 RKM, 45,000 of 881 RKM. That is that 71% of the broad gauge network has been electrified till 31 March 2021. In the last 3 years, 34% of total electrification across the Indian Railways network has been completed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now we'll move on to question number 4. Honorable Member Naidu Mahesh Kumar.
Thank you, Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Speaker, sir, first of all, I will say this government is not functioning effectively and efficiently. Why this government is not filling the vacant posts in the central and state?
Honorable member, this
Speaker,
is
sir.
question hour. Please stick
Yes, sir.
on to your question.
Okay, sir. Will the Ministry of Environment be pleased to state the total number of vacancies existing in the central and state pollution control board against the sanction manpower at both central and state level?
Honorable Minister of Environment.
Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to inform the member that a total of 79 positions are vacant in the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCP, in different cadres against a total standard strength of 521. As per information received from State Pollution, the delay has been due to reorganization of organizational structure and revision of job profiles, which has been done to meet the new COP26 targets. Notifications will be issued very shortly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Question number 5, Honorable Member D. Sai Prasad.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. Will the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship be pleased to state the Ministry of Skill Development is doing their respective functions. Still, the unemployment rate is increasing frequently. Are we still getting low entrepreneurs and skilled individuals in our nation? Even if they are skilled entrepreneurs, they move to foreign countries. Why?
Honorable Minister for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship.
Honorable Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to inform the members that the unemployment rate has increased by 44.97% due to pandemic. That's why most of the rural youth are not interested in the jobs of present days, rather than interested in the jobs of traditional professions. We are getting less entrepreneurs as we are missing skilled youth who are going to the foreign countries as their entrepreneur skills are not completely utilized. Moreover, the unemployment rate has increased due to the increase in the growth of population and lack of vocational courses. The government will take all the necessary measures and encourage entrepreneurship in our country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Now question hour is over. We will move on to the next business, calling attention motion. Now the House will take up calling attention motion moved by Ms. Shabna Begum, Mr. Ram Charan. Mr. Shabna Begum.
Speaker, sir, I would like to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister to the following subjects of urgent public importance and request him to make a statement on this subject. The situations arising out of COVID in the country and relief measures taken by the government in this regard.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. The respected member, Ms. Shabana Begum and Mr. Charan has called the attention of House regarding the COVID situation in the country and relief measure taken by the government regarding this. Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to inform the House that COVID situation is under control and the government is taking all necessary steps to contain the COVID in the country. As of today, a few trends are showing cases may grow up. The government is on high alert and many states have imposed restrictions. The government of India is constantly vigilantly monitoring the situation. The government is following 3T mantra of testing, tracking and treating. So through you, I assure the member of House that government will take all necessary steps to maintain the COVID in the country. These are few relief measures taken by the government as follow. PM Garib Kalyan Yojana. Under this scheme, the government distributed free ration to 80 crore people in the country who lost their livelihood due to COVID. And Speaker, sir, the government also rolled out world's largest COVID vaccination drive and vaccinated more than 150 crore people. The government also helped the state financially, supplying vaccine, PPE kit, N95 mask, oxygen, ventilator. The government will also provide scholarship to all those children who lost their parents due to COVID-19 pandemic. Sir, the government also provided insurance cover of rupees 50 lakh to all medical and paramedical staff. So, sir, therefore, the government has taken many steps to contain COVID and will continue to do so. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, honorable member. Shabana Begum, Ms. Shabana Begum.
Speaker, sir, the minister has clearly stated the government measures, but I have a question to the minister. Why is he taking time to approve more vaccines?
Honorable Minister.
Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to inform the member that the government will soon approve the more vaccines after due process of testing.
Yes. Honorable member, Mr. Ramcharan.
Sir, the minister has told what actually the government is doing, but I need a clarification. What are the steps taken by the government to those people who lost their livelihood during these lockdowns?
Yes, Minister.
So, as I mentioned in the statement, the government is providing free ration to all those families who lost their livelihood, below poverty line families, and also the government is providing loans under various schemes like Mudra Yojana, etc. The government also is helping MSME by giving financial assistance by way of loans to meet the cash requirement. Also being changes in the classification of MSME and also bringing more industries into MSME category so as the avail the benefits of MSME category. Thank you. I conclude.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now calling attention is over. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, honorable members, I have to make an announcement on behalf of the honorable members of the House. I have great pleasure in welcoming Dr. G. Uday Kumar, Speaker of the Parliament of Nepal and members of the Nepalian parliamentary delegation, who are on a visit to India as our honored guests. They arrived in India on Sunday. They are now seated in the special box. During their stay in India, they will also visit Agra. We wish them a happy and fruitful stay in our country. Through them, we convey our greetings and best wishes to the Parliament, the government, and friendly people of Nepal.
Through this house, I welcome Dr. G. Uday Kumar, Speaker of the Parliament of Nepal. Now, members, adjournment motion.
Sir, we need to have a discussion.
We need an urgent discussion, sir. अध्यक्ष जी हमें एक urgent discussion चाहिए.
Opposition wants to.
Sir, I request you to have an urgent discussion, sir.
No, members, this is urgent.
Sir, we need to talk on this. You must give a chance.
No, honorable members.
Speaker, sir, the opposition.
No, honorable minister, yes, honorable minister.
Speaker, sir, the opposition wants to discuss the issue as an urgent motion, but the government has already included it as a short discussion in today's business resolution. So I request them to be patient and cooperate with the House. Thank you.
Yes, LOP, you want
Honorable
to speak?
Speaker, sir, our intention is not to disturb the House, but to discuss matters of urgent public importance. We are satisfied with the assurance the Honorable Minister has given. Thank you.
थैंक यू माननीय सदस्यगण, मुझे विभिन्न विषयों पर कुछ स्थगित प्रस्ताव की सूची प्राप्त हुई है, मगर मैंने किसी भी स्थगित प्रस्ताव को अनुमति प्रदान नहीं की है. Now the House will take up legislative business on item number 108, Minister of Agriculture to introduce Agriculture Reforms Amendment Bill 1999.
Speaker, sir, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Agriculture Reforms Amendment Bill 1999.
Motion moved. The question is that the leave be granted to the Minister of Agriculture to introduce Agriculture Reforms Amendment Bill 1999. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The leave is granted. The minister may now introduce the bill.
Sir, I introduce the bill.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Item number 109, Minister for Education to introduce the Digital Education Bill 2022.
Speaker, sir, I beg to move for leave to introduce the bill, the Digital Education Bill 2022.
Motion moved. The question is that the leave be granted to the Minister of Education to introduce the Digital Education Bill 2022. Those in favor will say aye.
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 Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The leave is granted. The minister may now introduce the bill.
Sir, I introduce the bill, the Digital Education Bill 2022. Sir, for increasing digital education in India and imparting quality education to students in small towns and villages. For the first time, through the bill, we are going to establish an online university, which is mentioned in the bill in clause 5. Through this bill, the government will constitute an expert committee to oversee and review successful and sustainable implementation of digital education. This bill will empower the government to bring in equity, affordability, and improve infrastructure as mentioned in clause 1 and clause 6 in digital education. Speak in digital education. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now the motion is that the Digital Education Bill 2022 be taken into consideration. Now discussion on the bill will happen. Honorable LOP.
Speaker, sir, I appreciate the government for tabling this bill, but has the government forgotten that a sizable number of this country's children unfortunately still live in poverty? How will the government ensure that the benefits of this bill percolate down and reach them? That is the first question, sir. Does the government have an answer? And Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to bring to the notice of the House that this digital education concept might also lead to health issues in the children. How will the government ensure that the health of the children is not affected? I would like the Honorable Minister to reply to these questions. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable LOP. Mr. B. Manish, Honorable Member.
Speaker, sir, I am supporting this bill. It is very useful for the country as the whole country is going for digital education mode. This bill provides more opportunities and it creates good infrastructure. Students become smarter, then exposed to new learning tools and technology. Students also develop effective self-directed learning skills. The digital education system enables students to analyze what they need to know, to be able to search for, utilize, and online resources. So the government has come up with a pioneering step of establishing an online university. I appreciate that idea. Speaker, sir, I appreciate the minister and government for bringing this bill. Thank you, Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Shaurabh Shukla, Honorable Member.
Speaker, sir, I would like to give some suggestions on this bill. Giving knowledge to the parents is also essential. When parents don't, social, economical, and technical factors are also should be considered. The financial background of the students also matter. Over the 270 million people are living in India, living in poverty. Another fact about digital education in that the students are spending a lot of time in front of the screen. They may have experienced various health problems. Also, values such as moral and social discipline cannot be taught online. Cheating prevention during online assessment is complicated. In order to protect the authenticity of online education, anti-cheating measures must be put in place. That's also. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. K. Rambabu, Honorable Member.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Minister of Education, Ms. Joshna ji, we in the opposition always want that whatever decisions we take in the House should reach every citizen. Therefore, Speaker, sir, through you, I want to suggest few suggestions to the bill. We should conduct happiness classes in their respective local areas, keeping in view about the mental health of the students. Mostly in our country, government institutions are teaching in their local language. We should also take appropriate measures to ensure that teaching is done in the local language itself, so they can grasp it easily. Sir, I hope that honorable ministers will take these suggestions into consideration. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Now, Minister will reply to the discussion.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the member spoke very well. Many of them gave good suggestions. I thank them for participating in the discussion. Most of them talked about mental health, financial condition of the students, and training of teachers, values and ethics, online accountability, etc. Speaker, sir, I would like to tell them that all provisions are mentioned in the bill and the government will do whatever is necessary. The government will leave no stone unturned to ensure that digital education is available to all. I would like to answer LOP. The mental health of the students will be ensured and weekly classes are being conducted already and will strengthen them more. This bill is for welfare and development of our children. So I request all members to support this and rise above the political aspiration and unanimously pass the bill.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Members, now the House will take the clause-wise consideration of the bill. The bill has 10 clauses. The question is that the clause 1, 2, 3 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Clause 1, 2, 3 do stand part of the bill. Now the question is that the clause 4 to 8 do stand part of the bill. There are no amendments to these clauses. Those in favor will say aye.
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 Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Clause 4 to 8 do stand part of the bill. Now the question is clause 9, 10, short title, long title, enacting formula do stand part of the bill. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Clause 9, 10, short title, long title, enacting formula do stand as part of bill. Now the minister may request that the bill be passed.
Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the bill be passed.
Motion moved. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Congratulations, Minister. The bill is passed. Now we'll move on to the next business. Short discussion on linking of voter ID with Aadhaar card. Honorable LOP.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. The Union Cabinet has proposed a voluntary linking of Aadhaar to voter identity cards. I vehemently oppose this proposal. There are various substantive and procedural concerns with the proposal. First, although the government has termed these measures as voluntary, the provisions of the amendment belie this. The electoral officer clearly has uncanonized discretion, since the law does not prescribe any guiding principles, to decide when an Aadhaar number may be required. Moreover, the central government has the final say in prescribing the conditions or sufficient cause under which an individual will be permitted to enter or remain on the electoral rolls in case of their inability to furnish their Aadhaar. This means that the government will decide what reasons are considered acceptable for a voter to remain on the electoral roll. Interestingly, the law does not even consider a situation where an individual may be opposed to linking their Aadhaar number to the electoral database, further undermining the voluntary premise of the amendments. Sir, additionally, the government has declined to provide any empirical data that demonstrates either the extent of the problem of bogus voters or the success of Aadhaar in deduplication. Sir, there is also the issue of breach of privacy. In the 2017 right to privacy judgment, the Supreme Court had laid down a three-pronged if the fundamental right to privacy is being restricted. First, is the encroachment on privacy done on the basis of a law? Second, is there a legitimate state aim for this encroachment? The law must be reasonable and must guarantee against arbitrary state action. Third, is the encroachment on privacy proportionate to the purpose of the law under which the encroachment is taking place? The linking of both Aadhaar and voter databases would have to satisfy these three tests. Finally, sir, it is worth questioning how the Aadhaar project is once again being used for purposes far beyond the stated welfare purpose that was upheld by the Supreme Court of India in the Aadhaar judgment. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to air my views.
Thank you, Honorable LOP. Ms. A. Sonali, Honorable Member.
Thank you, sir. Speaker, sir, I support this proposal because the ECI will ensure and take multiple steps to ensure the security and safety of electoral database platform. Electoral roll database system does not enter into the Aadhaar system, and the system is only used for the authentication purpose, keeping an airtight gap between the two systems. These measures effectively will prevent the theft, interception, and hijacking of voter system. Thus, I strongly support this and thank government for upcoming with such a proposal. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Syed Mutalib Pasha, Honorable Member.
Thank you, sir. I strongly oppose this proposal because Firstly, nowhere Election Commission stated that it's unable to distinguish between fake and genuine voters. Then why this bill is being presented? Linking of Aadhaar with voter ID is optional. That means it's not enforceable. Moreover, it lacks any practical purpose. Every time Election Commission, after conducting elections, says that elections has been conducted in a fair manner, how can the EC conduct elections in a fair manner when bogus voters are present? Therefore, Speaker, sir, this is irrational and I strongly oppose. Thank you, Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. T. Yashwant Naik, Honorable Member.
Thank you, sir. I support this proposal. This move to link Aadhaar with voter ID is not new. In March 2015, the Election Commission of India has started a national election roll purification and authentication program to link Aadhaar to voter IDs so that it could delete names of voters lists it had been duplicated. ECI, which is Election Commission of India, has already completed the process for around 30 lakh IDs. It's requested for amendment of laws to empower electoral registration officers to seek Aadhaar number to existing voters as well as of those applying in the enroll new to themselves in voters list. So I don't find anything wrong in it. The opposition is interested in making unnecessary confusion, but they don't understand this will help India to even more emerge a vibrant democracy. Does the opposition don't want it to happen?
So, Speaker, sir, this is complete breach of practices. The member is deviating the
Sir,
subject.
it's not a breach of
Sir, we
practices. I'm
request you
not
to take the
deviating the
action, sir.
topic.
Honorable
The
Members.
government don't care about privacy.
I'm not deviating from the topic. The opposition don't want it to happen because they have a problem with that.
Honorable Members, please maintain the discipline in the House. This is a House of Decorum and Practices. Please maintain the discipline. On this, Honorable Member Varun Sai, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I strongly oppose this. Is this required? Why do we require Aadhaar to be linked? Aadhaar is mandatory to all the benefits and subsidies given by the government. The proposal gives the power to ECI to collect the data. What if the party in power uses it? What if where is the safety? How will our privacy will be protected? This is the clear violation of Supreme Court judgment of Puttaswamy versus Union of India. This proposal needs lots of changes and homework. As SC stated, the linking of Aadhaar and voter ID violates the fundamental rights of privacy as defined. This proposal allows the government to suppress the voters, disenfranchisement the profile of voters, and violates the principles of secret ballot and universal adult franchise. As one of the High Court stated in 2019, the Aadhaar project has failed to account and remedy of flaws in it, framework and design, which leads to serious issues of exclusion. Constitutional guarantees cannot be subjected to the technology. It is unconstitutional that the government is again crossing the red lines of the proposal. Therefore, I oppose the proposal and demand the government to rethink this. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Members, I declare that the short discussion is now over. I now request Honorable Prime Minister to reply.
Speaker, sir. Speaker, sir, I heard all the members who have spoken. Members have spoken in great detail. Sir, I through you to the House assure that all steps which are taken by this government is for the welfare of the people. Our government is the people's government. We will not take any decisions which is against our people. I assure the House that all suggestions will be considered thoroughly by our government. Some of them spoke about the privacy and safety of the voters. Sir, through you, I assure that there will be no such incidents happening, which harms the fundamental principles of privacy and safety. And sir, the government through this policy is not making anything mandatory. It is voluntary for the people to link their Aadhaar with voter ID. We introduced this policy for electoral transparency and as a part of administrative and electoral reform. So sir, therefore I once again assure the House that all suggestions will be considered. I thank all those who participated in the discussion. Thank you, Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Now, the House will now take up next business, that is private members resolution. Members, the House will take up private member resolution moved by Mr. Honorable Member C.H. Jeevan Balaji on green investment in public sector. Honorable Member Jeevan Balaji.
Speaker sir, thank you very much. I've got an opportunity to express my views and the importance and the need for green investment in public sector. Sir, I now move the resolution. Modern societies have been hardwired to run on fossil fuels. This influences on how we design our cities, transport systems, grow our food, produce electricity, and raise taxes and revenue. Green investing refers to investing in activities aligned with environmentally friendly business practices and conservation of natural resources. Through this resolution, sir, I would like to bring to the notice of the House that our policies have evolved around fossil fuels. We must now realign our country's economy towards low carbon emitting and green investment oriented. For this to happen, there should be major changes in the policies of this sector. 2/3 of the energy investments go to the fossil fuels. I demand the government to have long investments in low carbon infrastructures for sustainable growth. I demand the government to increase the share of the funding of the research and development of clean energy sector, which has been dropping recently. Today's transport systems have contributed to a drastic change in climate. For example, the recent CO2 emissions caused the smog formation in Delhi throughout the winter, not to mention the alarming rates of increase in respiratory issues among children and the elderly. It is high time that the government made public transport more efficient and green. It should subsidize the electric vehicles. The chemicals used in the agriculture have harmful consequences on the environment. I demand the government to give more subsidies on eco-organic pesticides to encourage its use. I demand the government to pass the resolution immediately because from the last 2 or 3 decades, we have seen that for the sake of economic growth, the health of the environment has taken a toll. I demand the government to immediately take up this policy. Therefore, through this resolution, I demand the government to immediately draw up a comprehensive plan for adaptation of green technologies by industry and farmers with inputs from experts along with the time framework. Sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Honorable Member Domin Lian Samte.
Sir, I support Jeevan's resolution. To attract investments in green projects, innovative financial instruments can be used to support viable projects. Government can also provide seed capital for such projects to mitigate credit risk in the initial years. I demand that initial funding could also be provided or supplemented by multilateral institutions and philanthropists. Technical capacity building will also be required to ensure that investments are structured to fit green norms. Comprehensive information on India's compliance with sustainable development goals should also be used to review policies and incentives regularly. Thus, with these points, I support Jeevan's resolution. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Now, Minister of Environment, Mr. C. Avish.
Speaker, sir, the Honorable Member had spoken in great detail. The Honorable Member, Shri Jeevan Balaji, mentioned a few changes in the policies of green investment. Shri Jeevan Balaji demanded the government to increase the share of funding to the clean energy sector. Our government has estimated that the country needs to spend 0.7 to 0.8% of its GDP on the clean energy infrastructure each year. A committee has been appointed to draw up a roadmap for its shift. The white paper for the same is to be submitted by the June 2022. Our government has been making continuous efforts to encourage the private sector and the philanthropists to invest in this clean energy infrastructure. Mr. Jeevan Balaji also stressed about the usage of harmful chemicals in agriculture causing consequences to the environment. Our government has formulated the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture for enhancing the agriculture productivity and to maintain the soil health management. These various schemes has been formulated to address this issue and will be shortly inaugurated by our Prime Minister. Shri Jeevan Balaji also mentioned about the excess of CO2 emissions. The state transport corporations will hereafter place orders only for e-vehicles. Our government will also procure only e-vehicles. Government employees using e-vehicles only can avail transport allowance. Coming to the electric vehicles, as Mr. Jeevan Balaji spoke about the subsidies on electric vehicles. Our government's new electric vehicle policy has a target of increasing electric vehicles to 25% and reduce the carbon emissions by 4.8 million tons by 2024. Our government is working along with the road and traffic departments to build the new flyovers and roundabouts. That will also result in the drastic CO2 reductions and will help us to meet our 2025 targets of reduction 5 million tons of CO2 emissions. Sir, I therefore assure the honorable member that all the steps will be taken for the promotion of green investment policy. I request the honorable member to withdraw the resolution.
Speaker, sir, I'm happy with the minister's reply.
Are you withdrawing?
Yes, sir. May I have the leave of the House to withdraw my resolution?
Okay, motion moved. The question is that the resolution moved by C.H. Jeevan Balaji with the leave of the House be withdrawn. Those in favor will say ayes.
Aye.
Ayes.
Those against will say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The resolution with the leave of the House is withdrawn as the member is happy with the minister's reply. Honorable members, the House is adjourned to meet again at 11 a.m. 30th of January 2022. Namaskar. The recording may be stopped. Again, can be on.
Thank you guys. We had a very fruitful session. I will be the host to the end of the session today. I'm Lakshmi, General Secretary of AV Student Council. I request Mr. Vishweshwar Reddy sir to give his comments on the present session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. Good morning. Firstly, once again, I congratulate the organizers and the participants. It was held in an impeccable manner, reflective of the real parliament session. And I really congratulate each one of the participants. Except the fact that you are young, without big bottus and beards and MP dresses, I almost felt I was in the parliament myself here today. Having said that, while the proceedings are conducted in a correct manner, we all need to understand the deeper meaning of how our parliament functions and why it functions like this. What are the parliamentary processes? And we in India have a democracy with a great parliamentary practices. For example, many committees are headed by opposition members, not the ruling party members. So the chairman of the committee is an opposition